Welcome back. You're watching Buy or Sell. Now it's time to talk about, it's Tuesday and it's time to talk about mutual funds and what's the outlook, what funds you could be looking at, what themes could be looking good for investment. And we have a special guest joining us. We have Amit Gupta, Vice President, Country Head Retail Sales of Taurus Mutual Fund, joining us from our studio in Mumbai. Thank you so much, Amit, for joining us. Your comment first, with the kind of movements we're seeing in the markets, with the kind of optimism that is being seen in the markets. Is this a good time to ride? Is this a good time to actually start putting in money into retail, money into mutual funds for someone who may have missed the bus from earlier on, maybe from the 10,000 levels?
Hi Ashu. Certainly I believe it's a good time to invest into markets as of now. In fact, if you can recall, we were propagating about investing into equity markets right since the March, when there was a lot of gloominess into the market. I believe there's not any good time or bad time to last year, which was a tumultuous time. It's a good time to keep on investing. We believe in the days to come we will see a lot of higher returns and equity markets doing very well in the next year or two. So naturally a good time to invest.
All right, so this is an appropriate time to invest. That's a view coming in on the mutual fund space. Let's take in our first email of the day. It's an email sent to us by Rafiq Alam. It's sent to us from Delhi. He wants to know which SIP should I invest in for the next 12 to 24 months. Of course, he plans to invest just about 5,000 rupees in the initial sum, but which one would be the best suited for him? That's the view coming in. But that's the query as far as the investor is concerned. But Amit, help us understand what the investor should do at this point of time.
I shall suggest Mr. Alam to start investing into the markets. For him to start a SIP and look at a duration, I shall suggest him to look for a 24-month kind of a SIP duration rather than 12 months, because you can spread out your returns over a longer period of time. And you can also do a rupee cost averaging, which is what SIPs are best for. My suggestion for him will be to invest into mid-cap themes or infrastructure themes, because these are the themes which are expected to do well in the days to come in the markets. So I shall suggest him to look for these kind of a themes. There are a lot of funds which operate out of that kind of a segment. So he should look for either a multi-cap or a mid-cap as well as the infrastructure fund. Ideally, he can divide his 5,000 bucks into maybe 2 or 3 funds depending upon his appetite and how much he can manage. But surely he should look for a mid-cap or infra kind of a theme as of now.
Okay, that's the suggestion for Rafiq Alam's question. We have another question from Rakesh Karnik. And he's a teacher in Pune, and he says, how do I allocate my funds to debt and equity funds for the next 12 months, since I plan to invest in both? Now, this looks like an is associated with an equity fund, because the downside could be more. So for an investor, what should be the strategy for an investor like Rakesh Karnik? What is your advice, Amit?
Ashu, for an investor like Mr. Karnik or anybody, including us, the thumb rule says for investment in equity, you need to subtract your age from 100, and whatever the remaining portion comes, that amount should be invested into equities. Having said that, duration also plays a very important role in terms of deciding on the asset class, because equities, as we know, is a very volatile asset class. Maybe in a 2-3 month time period can give you very high returns, but can give you very heavy losses in the next 4-5 months. Having said that, he has to hedge, which he is trying to look at. My suggestion to him will be to allocate a 50% portion as of now in between the equity fund and the income fund. Income fund primarily because the yields have risen very sharply and they have posted negative returns in the past, but going ahead we believe they will be able to deliver a high single digit kind of a returns. The remaining 50% portion can be invested into money market fund, out of which another half can go into equities in a systematic manner, while the remaining portion, 25% portion, can be invested into income fund maybe sometime in the month of August or September and October, once the credit the policy is out. So my suggestion to him will be divide his monies between the diversified bond fund, which is income funds, and equity. Invest a portion as of now, another portion maybe after a month or two.
All right. So look at diversifying the portfolio within the monthly timeline. Look at investing some part right now and some part at a later stage. The next one is also an email that we have received from Melina Fernandez. She's a professional writing to us from Delhi. Wants to know which mid-cap funds should she invest in, and of course the criteria would be based on select the 2-3 funds that she expects to do well. Amit, again, mid-caps has been. What would you advise the investor right now?
I shall strongly propagate investing into mid caps because there is a lot of valuation gap which is there between the large and the mid cap. So I shall suggest him to look. I shall suggest her to look at mid cap funds. The criteria which she should use to select will be the consistency of the performance of any of the scheme which she is looking at. Another parameter could be the standard deviation or the volatility of the fund which are giving whatever returns they are. And the third parameter is about the portfolios. Portfolios play a very important role, Ashu, because when the markets go up, your mid cap tend to give you higher returns. When the markets come down, mid cap fall also with the same magnitude. So one has to look at what kind of a portfolios they are investing into, what kind of a names does that portfolio consist about, and about the consistency, which plays a very, very important role. So it is not only the highest giving return fund should be selected, it should be the most consistent of them all should be selected based on the past performance.
So for the next 12 months or maybe even 24 months, what themes, maybe 2 or 3 themes, would you be betting on?
Ashu, definitely I will bet on the infra theme because world over, if you look at it, is primarily the government spending which is trying to resurrect most of the economies out of the recession. So infra themes definitely will be the one theme. Right. Second will be the multi-cap theme which we are insisting about. The very basic reason is there is a lot of valuation difference which is there between the large and the mid-cap and the stocks which are outside the indices. Right. So we shall suggest a mid-cap theme and the infra theme as of now, Ashu.
Okay, thank you so much for joining us there on Buy Sell talking about mutual funds. Thank you so much for joining us. That's all the time we have, Ashu.
Absolutely, and Samina Hiranian is now joining over for Profit Newsroom. Stay tuned.
Right, thanks Ashu for that. Yes, I'll take you through Profit Newsroom. We've got lots lined up for you, all the market action, the economy in focus, and lots of corporate news flow, all that on 12:30 this afternoon.
And you're watching NDTV Profit.